Elizabeth writes and says, what? You are doing this by yourself. You're doing this part-time. You're doing $12,000 a month. And even big resellers who are doing this full-time aren't doing those numbers. Wow, is that true? We're going to talk about if that's true or not in this What's Sold on eBay video coming up. What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Brendan here. So some of you, and maybe a lot of you, are new to the channel. A lot of you have been following me for a good length of time, have probably heard some of this already, but I want to make sure that I get this across to some of the new viewers that are watching. Yes, I only do this part-time. I work maybe 25 to 27 hours per week on my eBay store, and you're going to see coming up here, I was close to $12,000 in June, no less, where everyone always says there's this big summer slowdown. So I have no employees. Nobody touches anything. I ship every single item. I source every single item on my own, and yes, I am able to get it done in 25 hours. So none of what I say here is meant to brag. It's just me being me, but I really want to encourage a lot of you who are solo operators and let you know that, yeah, you can also do it too. In the face of distraction after distraction in your personal life, especially in my personal life, I feel like almost none of my work is not distracted. So there's always kind of something going around in the backgrounds. But yes, I only do part-time hours on my eBay store. And, you know, I have a lot of time that I devote to content creation. I'm not burnt out by any means. I'm extremely efficient with some of these things. And yeah, I'm doing close to $12,000. Let's take a look at the exact numbers for the month of June, and then we'll get into 20 items that I sold that month as well. All right, let's take a look at these numbers. June 1st through the 30th, 11,500 in sales, but my net didn't really change from last year, which is weird. I'm up 20% on one side, about even on the other side. My selling cost 27%. My average sales price, awesome, $65. And then about 180 items sold, which is sort of similar to what I always do. But I want you to repeat after me. There is no summer slowdown, and you're about to see a lot of things that would normally sell maybe in the fall and the winter time selling in the month of June. So yes, this is possible. Yes, only one person did it, and you can too. So let's get into some of the bolos here. All right, these Braun hair removal kits. I found two of these at the Amazon liquidation store. I paid $14 for each of them, and both of them sold within a day for $200. And they were fast sellers. So I was like beginner's luck, maybe, if you will, because I found these at the Amazon liquidation store's grand opening. I've had terrible success every time I've gone back since, with the exception of maybe one or two times. I've been in maybe 3 or 4 times total. And you guys saw the last time, so that was sort of a disaster. Anyway, this was a good sale. Same buyer bought both of them, shipped them out. $200 for 14. I'll take that all day long. This is an absolute bolo here. How many have sold? 162 in the last, 90 days? I mean, you can see where the prices are. So 230 with free shipping, sort of the same as what I did, 200 and then offered shipping. So if you score some of these and they're brand new, you're going to make a lot of money. All right, next one here. Dymo, they're sort of the gold standard, if you will, for thermal printers. So there's a label writer 4XL, there's a 4XL Turbo, there's a smaller version. All of them sell extremely well, very fast. This is another one that only took me a day to sell. I found this on Marketplace, so I paid up for it. Paid $40 for it. It sold for $180. This buyer is $195.75 all in. And I will still take the fact that it sold in one day. So was it worth me paying up for? Absolutely. Anytime you can search Marketplace or Craigslist and find these in that price range, you have to grab them because they sell really fast. And ultimately, that's the game we're playing here, especially if you are having cash flow issues or you don't have a ton of money to spend, you don't have a ton of cash on hand to spend. Get something that's going to sell fast for you. In fact, every single one of the items featured in this video, with the exception of one, has sold in under 1 month. So all of these are fast sellers too. There's no such thing as a summer slowdown. Dymo, you can see right here, they are easy sellers here. 130, 175, 199, 190, 125. You get the idea. All right, next here, this was a great find. I found this at the bins. Air Force Landing Leathers bomber jacket, dark brown color, like sort of espresso, very clean. And you find a lot of very clean items at the Goodwill bins. At least I do. I feel like for every item that's like filthy or seems dirty, there's 2 or 3 very clean items. So I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, the bins are filthy. Yeah, wear gloves, la, la, la. This jacket came out immaculate. Let me take you through some of the pictures here. This buyer paid, I think I sold this for 51. I had it listed for 60. I sold it for 51. You can see how clean it is just in these pictures. And they are $74.22 all in after taxes and after shipping. Let's call it $4 for me. And it only took 2 weeks to sell. You're only going to see a couple of solds here in the last 90 days, but if you go into Terapeak, you can see a similar pattern here. So this was definitely a BOLO item, an item you want to keep out. You want to keep your eye out for when you're outsourcing. And I sold this in June. So there you go. Next thing here, Sony Handycam model CCD-TR940. The details on this one are fuzzy. I think maybe I paid $9 for it, and I think I found it at a thrift store. I don't recall exactly, but I want to take you through my pictures because I think the ones toward the end are the ones that convinced the buyer that this thing was working properly if you're not going to take video, which is kind of hard to do when you're testing these video handy cams. So you can see the buttons lit up here once I have it plugged in, but then just looking through the viewfinder, I was lucky enough to have a tape in it already. So you can see there's like some sort of a church activity going on. And then this is just me filming it around the house, filming it out on the back deck. So you can see that it is working properly. And I sold it for my full asking price of $160. So this buyer is $184.67 all in. And this one only took 3 weeks to sell. So another quick seller. Sony Handycams, just look each one of them up. Not every one of them is going to be worth something. This one just sort of fell into my lap, if you will. That's what happens a lot of times when you are outsourcing. You just, luck happens to the well-prepared. So this was a great sale. And you can see here, 22 sold in the last 90 days. This one here looks like no accessories sold for 90. This one here sold for 160. Some additional accessories here, but a pretty consistent, like 130, 140, me at the top at 160. I have a bunch of accessories that are coming with it here. So maybe that's why I got a little bit more money, but keep your eye out for it. Next thing here, to the naked eye, this might look like a generic shoe, but Montclair is a high-end luxury brand. So I grabbed these fast when I saw them. I paid $5.50 for them at a thrift store. I'll take you through some of the pictures. These sold for $170, and the buyer is $181.44 all in. They sold in 1 month, made in Italy, decent shape, size 43, European, and Emmeline is the name of this shoe. I don't know, but high end and expensive even pre-owned. So you can see here, I got 170 for mine, but here's one that sold for 110, 125, 275. Someone got a best offer here, but again, my prices are right in line with this shoe. Lucky find, and I think the stores just felt like maybe the shoe was generic, so keep your eye out for it. Next thing here, it's not uncommon to find vintage CCM jerseys, but an NAHL one like this one probably get you a little bit more money, especially if you're willing to wait a little bit, because those I feel like are harder to come by. At least they were when I was doing my research, when I was looking this up, when I sourced it, and then again doing it here to get you some of the current sold. So the Odessa Jackalopes, I got this at the bins, and it was another quick seller. This was what size was this? Like a 2XL or XL or 3XL. So it was kind of a wheelhouse size. Yeah, 2XL here. I paid maybe $1, $2 for it because it's a very thin white jersey. And I sold this for 106. So the buyer is 129.24 all in. It took 6 weeks to sell. You're probably going to have better luck finding NHL CCM jerseys. Here's a few of them here, but the prices, usually on the higher end. I feel like, if you see a jersey in a thrift store, and it slips through the cracks and it doesn't make it to shop Goodwill, if we're talking about Goodwill, of course you're going to look it up. So I feel like that goes without saying. But the NAHL league, maybe you make a little bit more money when you find one of those. So here's some of these prices here. I think the Mighty Ducks is one of like the grails. So if you ever see them, you'll get a little bit more money than the rest of these, but goes without saying at this point. NHL jerseys always grab them, just make that a force of habit. Next thing here, I feel like the reason these Danskos sold so quickly and for so much money is because, and nurses out there are going to have to help me out. Are they making them for men anymore? This is a men's size 11 Cabrio Dansko Pro XP. I had these listed and they sold within minutes for 110. So this buyer is 122.53 all in, only cost me $5.50. They sold within hours, but is it hard to get good men's clogs for nurses? Is that what's going on here? Because I tell you, they sold really fast. They had like little cushion inserts in here as well. Maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know. Those of you that are in the field might have to help me out here, but I am not complaining by any means. $110 for a pair of clogs that I paid under $6 for is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm looking and I don't really see that many for men. And you know what? They're in the higher dollar price range here. So another Pro XP Pro 72, 55 here, and 53, 56 that was on auction. So, you know, I feel like that's sort of in line with what the clogs would cost if they were women's as well, but I got 110 for mine. So maybe you're going to see something that I don't. And if you do, let me know in the comments. Great sale. All right, next thing here, you guys saw me source this on camera. Disney Princess lamp. It was 16 inches. I really don't, for whatever reason, I don't like the first picture I used, but I think it's the next ones that sold it. So I sold this for $90 and this buyer is 116.01 all in. I think this was $9. It cost me $9 at that store. And it sold in, how fast did this sell? 4 days. So here are the rest of the pictures, but really intricately articulated, if you will, very heavy and well made. So I made sure that I shipped it very carefully because there were a lot of pieces and parts that could have kind of cracked if I wasn't careful. And this one even had a little bit of pen mark on the lampshade. It didn't deter the buyer, and I'll take $90 all day long. These were not really easy to come, or at least an exact comparable for this lamp wasn't easy to find for me, but similar ones. Here's one, you know, for $50, $20 shipping, one down here for 60, one here for 70. Not all of them are exactly like the one that I found, but this is just me when I'm seeing this, like, can I push this to 70? Can I push it to 80? Can I push it to 90? Because I feel like mine has a little bit more detail than some of the ones I'm looking at. That's why I arrived at the $90 price range. Luckily, it sold and it sold fast. So keep your eye out for those lamps because they are good sellers at a high price point. So this was $15 at Goodwill. I don't even know it's a pool pump. Okay, so an Intex pool pump that is completely like factory sealed still. $14.99. I just yanked it off of a cart, not knowing any better. And I come to find that it is a bolo that people are definitely looking for and purchasing. So I listed it for $80, which seemed in line with the comps at the time. And that's what it's sold for. Spire is $104.13 all in. This one also only took 4 days to sell. You can see they are very consistent sellers, 33 in the last 90 days. And we're all at about $80 or so. I don't know why this person chose to sell theirs for 50 when there's very clear solds at a higher price point, but you get the idea here. If you're coming into this, it's going to be around $80, and it looks like it will sell pretty quickly for you. Next one here, Demarini Diablo softball glove. This was in like new condition. I bought this at a garage sale. I wasn't filming at the time, and this gentleman had a price tag of $20 on it, so that's what I paid. I had it listed for $100, and I sold it for $85. So this buyer is $103.72 all in. Can you believe people will pay that amount of money for softball gloves or even baseball bats? I mean, I've seen some baseball bats sell brand new for over $1,000. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's not, I don't remember that when I was young, you know, but it's insane what people will pay. So selling this for 85 is just, it's amazing. Listing it for 100 is amazing. So it's why it's a great business. $20 for me. It's sold in under a month, and it is a very clear bolo at a higher price point. So 85 for mine. Someone took a best offer here. These both had theirs listed for 75, 60 here, 90 for this one here. But again, for me with mine in like new condition, I'll take you through some of the pictures here. It was really still like a very firm glove, and yeah, people will pay it. It's just amazing to me. All right, next one here. Got lucky on this. This came out on a rolling cart at a thrift store. On the bottom, Both pieces only cost $6. So this was an amazing sale. $5.29, $6, something like that. Kate Spade, Molly, Falling Flowers. This is definitely a bolo, so please keep your eye out for it. Let me take you through some of the pictures. This is in like new condition here. There's the first piece. There's the second piece. And yeah, $6 for both pieces. Cannot beat that. Excellent condition. 125, is that what I got? No, I took an offer of 112. This buyer is 130.78 all in. And this was a sale that took less than 2 weeks to sell, but I was only following this bottom one here. That's it. When I was doing the comps in store, I saw this one had sold for 125, and that's what I did. I just matched mine and sold it for 112. Really nice seller. I noticed also when I was doing, I was using Google Lens to get the exact correct keywords for this, and I had seen some sales on Poshmark too, maybe some other platforms, Mercari, I don't remember exactly, but it was clear that this was popular, not just going on the one sold that I had seen in the last 90 days on eBay's platform. So if you see it, I think you can rest assured that it is an in-demand style for Kate Spade. So keep your eye out for it, and we will move on. Another coat selling in the middle of June. Free people. This is a packable puffer jacket. Pippa is the style here. It was a woman's size small. It's brand new with the tags. I got this at the Amazon liquidation store, although I don't remember what I paid for it. $14.10. I could have paid less than that. I let's just settle on 10 because I don't remember exactly. MSRP of $200. Really not much to it. And it sold for, did it sell for the full price? I had it listed, what did I have it listed for? 150. I sold it for 127 exactly. This buyer is 155.64 all in, and it sold in 8 days. So another fast seller in June, and no problem paying up for it. If I did pay 14, but I don't think I found this on $14 day. I think I found it on $10 day. Great sale. There is no such thing as a summer slowdown. Here are some of the solds on this one. This doesn't look like, this looks, it says oversized boxy, so that might be slightly different here, but you can see, I mean, brand new with tags, or price range, I'm right in line for, I guess, selling it, or at least pricing it for 150, even though the MSRP was 200. All right, next thing here, I found this at a garage sale as well. This is the first time that I've ever found vintage G.I. Joe. I mean, hitting me right in all of the feels, because this was my childhood. I was 10 years old in 1987, and G.I. Joe was like at the top of my list of things to play with. So if you ever see the acronym ARAH, it stands for A Real American Hero, which is what I believe I am. Man, I'm just kidding. I don't know, maybe I am to some of you. But I bought an entire tub of G.I. Joe for $45, sight unseen. I didn't comp anything there. I just couldn't believe what I had fallen into. I come to find out, after having everything listed, there was about over $500 worth of G.I. Joe related items in the tub. So, I mean, as far as like making this the correct business decision, yes, but just seeing these and being able to hold them, maneuver them, photograph them, brought back so many fun memories of me being a kid. So this thing here, what is this called? The Mamba, and Gyro Viper is the figure, I think. I had it listed for $100. What did I sell it for? 80. So this buyer is 98.20 all in. Another fast seller here at 3 weeks. Awesome find. Show you some of the current solds on it. This last one that has sold within the last week sold for 92. That's a great sale. This one was a little bit lower. It looks like it's missing parts. 163 for this one. That's amazing. It looks like it has the instructions. So you guys get the point. There's my sale right there, but a lot of them selling for even higher. So pretty exciting sale. Vintage G.I. Joe, I don't need to tell you to look for that or look those up when you see them, because it just does not happen that often. So next thing here, there's that remote I was telling you folks about. Now, I'm going to say this to you. If you find this exact remote, it's worth $100. Somebody eventually will pay $100 for it. There's a current active listing right now that somebody has it listed for $60 that maintains that it's working properly. Why on earth would you price it so low if you know you could get at least $85 for it, which is what I got for it? I don't remember. Somebody sent me an offer, or I sent an offer. I didn't have to accept it. I could have waited because this is without a doubt a $100 remote. but I took an offer of 85. If you find it, 85 to 100 all day long. RAV 160 from Yamaha, and it cost me $4. The buyer is $94.50 all in after shipping and after taxes, and it's sold in 1 day. So here are some of the sales in the last 90 days. 55, that just does not make any sense. What I did was I went into Terapeak and I was like, how many of these have sold for $100? And I thought I saw maybe one or two of them. I saw some in the $80 range. So that's where I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be at the top for a remote that's really, really hard to find, but that people are clearly buying. So here's one that sold for 90, free shipping. 84. So we're all kind of similar here, but if you find it and you're willing to wait, you can most likely get $100 for it. Next thing here, dress shoes. I don't pick dress shoes up a ton, but I love Allen Edmonds. These were super clean. And I like sometimes the time of day that I photograph shiny leather, like it really makes the pictures pop. This is right around like between 2 and 4. I like to do my pictures, and I'm on the East Coast on overcast days between like 11 and 1. I feel like that's when the best light is, when it's overcast. So this was a little bit after that, but like this leather just really popped. Winhall is the style here. They were a size 8.5, but they were extra wide. Let me show you some of the pictures. They just came out really, really well. And the nice thing about this is there's a lot of Allen Edmonds Winhall like cap toe shoes listed, but I think I won the sale because I outpictured all of my competitors. And you'll see there are not a lot of sold in the last 90 days compared to the amount of active listings, but I think me outpicturing everybody is what pushed this over the edge. So I had them listed for 80. They sold for 80. Buyer was 106.84 all in after shipping and after tax, and they cost me $5.50. They only sold in 1 day, but if you look here, not that many. Six have sold in the last 90 days. So what are the keywords I'm using? Allen Edmonds, Winhall, black leather. Let me back out of here, and you can see the prices. I think somebody bought them but didn't pay, so I relisted them, and they sold within a day. Let's jump off of the solds. 11. So okay, using the term leather at the end, 11. So that's still a pretty good ratio. But if you looked at all of the solds, I think my pictures were the best. I think that's why I won that sale, and I think that's why I win a lot of them. So your pictures definitely matter. Please keep that in mind when you are getting things listed. Take your pictures seriously. Next thing here, Chipotle gear. I love it. This is like organic cotton farm team hoodie. It was missing the strings. That didn't matter. I believe I found this at the bins, so let's call this a couple bucks. It was a men's small, and it sold within 3 weeks for $60. So this buyer is $83.49. This is another one. Like, can you believe someone paid $60 for a Chipotle hoodie? Remember the Chipotle hat I was talking about a long time ago? Like, use that as your metaphor this year, that $35 hat that I paid 50 cents for at the bins. Chipotle gear sells really well. Are you guys getting your Raising Cane's for free right now? Get those Post Malone cups, get those sold. I just sold 2 of them for $25. It made my entire meal that I bought that day absolutely free. The Raising Cane stuff sells, the Chipotle stuff sells, and I will take it. 60 bucks here. Buyer is $83.49 all in, if I didn't say that already, $3, and it's sold in 3 weeks. I don't think you're going to see any other of these hoodies on this list. It's more of the t-shirts here. But if you want to go back into Terapeak, I'm sure you'll see some of these sell, and I think that's what I did when I was doing the comp research. But I think I would have picked this up anyway without any sales, because I feel like it's just a matter of time. I have a lot of luck selling Chipotle gear, so I'm pretty comfortable with it at this point. But look it up, especially if you're new. You'd be surprised. No one is marking these items up that have Chipotle all over them at your thrift stores. So jump on them. Next thing here, Genesee Cream Ale Beer Sign. This is a pretty consistent seller, this style and this size. I don't remember what I paid for it. Let's just say $9. Could have been 10. I don't really remember. And my pictures were like decent enough. There's nothing special going on here. 4 pictures of the front and the back. And it sold for $50. So $71.50 this buyer is all in. Sold in 2 days, but a very clear seller. So vintage Genesee Cream Ale bar sign is the keyword that I'm using here. Is something that sold for 30. But here's one that sold for 40. There's mine. There's another one that sold for 40. And if you go even farther back, more of this exact style turn up. So it was a bona fide item to be on the lookout for, just based on previous solds, and it sold quickly. So beer signs, same with the jerseys. Like if you see a beer sign, always look them up. Not all of it is going to make you money, but just make it a habit. And I continue to be pleasantly surprised all the time. I bought this one. I bought another one I've got listed currently. And it's, again, just probably a matter of time before that one sells too. Next thing here, I understand most of you would not pay $80 for a pair of Gucci loafers, especially if you were not sure if they were authentic or not. The lucky thing for me is I have sold this exact style Gucci loafer, so I've already gone through the authentication process. The ones I sold previously for a much lower amount were authentic, and these were also authentic. So I didn't have anything to worry about there. So I've got a few things going for me. I'm not worried about them being fake, and I know this style sells because I've sold it before. So I've already done comp research in my business previously. So I knew I could pay up for them. I paid 80 and these sold for 215. So this buyer is 244.57 all in. That is a snaffle bit, FYI. So horse bit, snaffle bit, that style is still popular, and there's silver tone underneath here. You will see this style of Gucci with their standard, I forget what their colors are, green and red, like the stripe underneath there. So you'll see two sort of variations, but I've sold this exact variation before. So I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I could move them again. And yes, I had to pay up for them, but I will take that. And I understand a lot of you might not be in a position to do that, and that is okay. Hopefully, by listening to me babble on about the things that I sell on a weekly and a monthly basis, you too will get to a point where you can make a decision like this and it's comfortable for you. So 215, I'll take that all day long. They sold in 2 weeks. I'm going to stop babbling about it. Gucci shoes, I mean, come on. These were probably, what, $2,000 brand new or something like that. So it's a little bit ridiculous at this point. But I am not my target market. So happy to sell these to you for $215, and we will move on. This one here was nothing more than a guess price-wise on my end. Vintage Anco, New York Yankees baseball hat. So there's nothing to this, but I had to guess, and I'll tell you why I had to guess in a second. I want to show you the Anco tag. It's a pretty popular vintage tag. Anco, polyester, one size fits all, made in Korea. But if you look at the solds, you can see the style of Anco vintage hat that sells is the one with the Yankees logo on it, right? So for me, and this is where my brain was at. I've got the script logo, if you will, New York Yankees, not the actual team logo. So maybe I can price it a little bit higher and present it as a more exclusive option because of its rarity. That's the only reason I listed it at $80. Well, wouldn't you know, it sold for 60. So this buyer is $64.99 all in. It only cost me 50 cents. It took 4 months to sell, but it's still sold. And this, I could have very easily have priced that hat at $25 to $35, but I don't. And I think I win a lot of the sales on the high end simply by asking, right? So sometimes for a lot of you, simply raising your prices will help you do better. And that's just me shooting for the stars. It's the same thing that I try to teach or at least share with you folks that will make your life a little bit easier. That's how you end up doing the same amount of work, but or less and making more money by raising your prices. That's all I did here. Just shot for the stars. And then the last one, a dish satellite. I don't know what you do. What do you put these in your trailers and you go camping and you have cable because you bring this with you along for the ride in your camper? I don't know. But anyway, found this at Goodwill, 25 bucks, Winegard PL 7000R. This is definitely a bolo. There's a lot of them listed, but they do sell. So what did I sell this one for? I sold this for 200 even, and the buyer is 239.64 all in. It only took me 1 month to sell, but you can see here, plenty of them selling in the last 90 days. So some brand new ones here, but you're not going to have any trouble selling them pre-owned as well. And this was just a lucky break because this was actually, I lied. It was on a stale cart. So it had been sitting there, as I circled the wagons in the store, if you will, and finally decided to look it up, and I'm glad I did. So that is it. 25 more bolos in the books. All right, Callaway bag winner. Replies, filter duplicates, do the math like we always do. And how many unique comments did we get on that video? You guys are really coming through. 311, amazing. And let's see who's going to win that backpack. It is Amy. I would love to have a better photo setup, list more clothing items, and just more knowledgeable buys for resale. Thank you for your comment, Amy, and congratulations. You are the winner of the Callaway backpack. Send me your details at dadplanetofficial@gmail.com, and I will get this in the mail for you just as soon as I can. Thank you again. You guys are going to be disappointed, but I'm solo here. Both my kids out with moms, and it is just me, so I'm going to have to open this on my own without my little ones here. And today's gift is this pair of very crisp, very clean Keen water shoes. I think I saw these were in like the $70, $75 range pre-owned if you wanted to resell them. Of course, you could keep them for yourself if that's what you decide. They are looks like a men's size 11, very clean, and I think the timing is right because we are still in summer. That is the giveaway for today's video. Tomorrow is movie night at the Dad Planet household. I'm gonna be watching Good Burger. I feel like it's my youngest favorite movie right now by a long shot. My favorite movie, growing up in Cleveland as a young kid, Major League, still my favorite movie. The idea of the Cleveland Indians making the playoffs at the time that movie came out was like unfathomable to us because they were so bad, so well acted. Charlie Sheen, Wesley Snipes, just an amazing movie. Still my favorite to this day. What is your favorite movie? Let me know in the comments. Brendan here, Dad Planet, the one-man show. Christmas in July, March is on. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.